And you know what? The grinder keeps on cutting, and we're finding more and more things to replace on this cab, but we're still working on the bottom. So, without further ado, let's jump right into it. We got basically that top section we want to complete so we can move on. Welcome to Iowa State Garage. All right, well, we might as well dive right into her. I'm kind of thinking scalpel. We'll pull this guy off completely. Once he's off, we can make a new one, bridge it up over to here, and then I think just a nice big solid plate right across. Do that for both sides. It'll give us a good base to build off of. That's the plan. Let's try it out. All right, scalpel. Let's get this guy cut off. I think if I give that a good smack with the hammer, I think it's only going to be that part that's holding the whole thing on. I think we're going to have to scalpel it off. I don't think I can cheat with the hammer. It's okay. It's all right. Well, that's one way to skin a cat. Let's see about getting that top one. I don't remember welding that there. That's why we're having such a hard time. Let me cut that off. So there's a bolt. I didn't know there was a bolt. That's why we're having so much issues. Maybe I didn't even weld that. Maybe it's literally just bolted on. Wouldn't that be silly? That's one piece now. That's been welded. Okay, well. We're gonna have to get in there and replace that guy. We got no choice. Huzzah! Pretty cleaned up there. We got the main rotten brace out pretty much. Now it's just dealing with this guy down here. This guy's kind of rotten all throughout this lip. And we also likely, tell you the honest truth, is have to zing them off right there and re-drill our holes. Because that's looking pretty rotten. Actually, you know what? This steel's good. It's just this little cap piece right here. Let me think about it. All right, so I was doing some scrutinizing on this guy, and before I put the brace in, it's actually a really good time to get this gap right here, this little L piece done. This kind of cut off the straggling bits. They don't really hold any structure anymore. But then we can just kind of, weld in this L pit, put this guy together, again, which is going to be awesome. And then we can put our structure steel in. And then this side's basically done, other than a little bit of piecework in here, but we can get that afterwards. But that will finish up this cab corner, and then we just got this outer skin to do. I think that's a good plan. So, I was going to take the grinder. Let's kind of clean up these little stragglers here. Get rid of them. There's no point on them having them here. Trace out this with, you know, some CAD, and then we'll do some... I kind of think the best way to do it is going to be pretty much based off of how it was before. We're just going to kind of come down here, come down there, bend up a piece of steel. We're going to actually use our 16 gauge for this piece, but it's going to be relatively the exact same. So let's go over to the 16 gauge and I'll scribe out a piece and then we're going to start bending her up. This old thing's awful floppy. There. So I measured out the good one, and what we basically came out to is 26 long, then the widest little bit is about 4 inches, 4.5. The skinniest is about 2 1/4, sorry. And then the middle channel is about 2.5 inches. That's roughly the type of channel that it was made. So we're basically going to make 2 of those off this piece. So let me scribe it out real quick. I'll show you guys them, and then we're going to cut them out, and then we're going to go bend them up. There we go. That's kind of what we got going on. We got our 2.5 center. Then we have our 2 outers. We're just going to kind of cut them and we'll fabricate them. I think just little bits of tacks all the way through should be fine for that. We shouldn't even need to finish weld this guy. So let me do that. We'll cut them out and then we'll weld them up. That's roughly what it's going to be. So I'm just going to make 2 of these. Basically, I need double the amount for the other side. I know we're going to have to replace that one too. We might as well make it while we're here. So let's get at it. There we go. We got 4 of these fellas, basically in scrap steel. Or I shouldn't say scrap, it's brand new. And yeah, we're gonna kind of recreate that shape right there. A little bit of a flare at the end. Should work out pretty darn good. So let me make up 2 of these guys, and then we can install it on that side. So we got the old poverty welding table set up. Let's start getting there. All right, so this is kind of what we got going on here. We got this guy. He's pretty much solid in. We got a little gap there, a little gap there. But I'm kind of looking at it, I think what we're going to do, you know, to finish off this cab, because before they were just kind of hanging off, I think what we're going to do, we're going to cut that guy off there. We're not going to reuse him because that's where that big cut is. We'll just use good panel. Looking at it, I think we're going to use this basically as the boundary line for the cab. That being said, this panel right here will eventually tie right into this lip. And that will be so. And that will be that. I think that will complete the overall look of this front cab. So what we got to do here, I got to cut this out here because this is old and it's all goobered up and everything. I'm going to cut that guy out, just add a nice sliver piece, weld that in, not a big deal. Same thing down here. We got to weld this triangle in to the back side. Basically cap off this inner lip panel. And then after that, we should be able to cap this guy off. And provided everything works okay, we can build off on this end. Make this guy whole. I think that's exactly what we're gonna do. There we go, fellas. We got that part in. Now it's time to deal with this guy right here. Actually, second thought, let's reverse the order just a little bit. We're gonna do this bottom plate right here that goes into this guy before we add him, because we'll weld him directly on top of that. That will make a lot more sense than, you know, Mickey Mousing it down here. So that's what we're gonna do. We gotta beat this guy back flat because he kind of got squished when we rolled the cab. Oops. Shouldn't be a big deal. Let's get at it. Well, I guess it wasn't recording, but we got the panel in. There you go. So that's pretty much done up, other than finishing touches, all that kind of stuff. So let's get that big triangle in. All right, so I got it approximately for that triangle. Let's cut it out. So there you go, fellas and fillettes. She's all in there now, completely sealed up. So, in my opinion, we should be able to Zeus that guy off. We might bend him back so then, you know, there's a little bit of an arc still. But then I think we can make this back panel that joins up to this lip. I'll stretch this lip out, and then we'll join it up. And I think that will finish off the entire course. You know, within reason, there's still a little tiny bit here and there, like a little bit of floor and all that stuff, but we can do that with the cab flop down. Same as the mount, we can do that after, but we can put the skid on. That's gonna look pretty sweet. Not too bad. Got a couple spots we need a little bit tweaking, but we might just kind of do something dirty like that. So that's gonna go in just pretty much like so. And then we gotta curl the entire thing. So I gotta do a little notch there, and then we're gonna trim that inner lip just a bit, and it will sit down a lot better. Plus, I gotta curl this thing, so let's curl it right now. Go. Oh yeah, that's coming together. That's working out. Got a little bit of a spot. I gotta. Now we can do the old dirty cut and button. There we go. It really doesn't need a lot more. Just kind of curl in, seam weld to top. We're getting there. We're almost done this side. Alright, so now that we have pretty much the whole perimeter, other than that little spot way up there, I'm gonna try to do some rounding on this bottom panel here, kind of curl that in, and then we'll have to do a patch panel on top, but if we curl it in, it should be able to weld up against that, maybe with a sliver steel, something like that. So let's get out the hammer and dollies, and we'll start working on it. So there we go, not too bad. That's pretty much how she's gonna look. Once we wire wheel that all those little tiny spriggets will be gone. But yeah, it's pretty much all there. We got a little tiny bit of piecework down there, up there, and I think somewhere else. Oh yeah, down there. But then this side's all done. So let's start working on that piecework. Let's go up there. We might even put this floor panel piece in that I never put in before, you know, might even do that. And then we got this little piece down here and down there, and then this side's pretty much wrapped up. So let's get to work. So we're down here at the bottom. We got this little gap right here. And you know what? We tried to weld on this to keep the original on it, but you know, she's toast. So I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna cut it right here, remove this entire lip, and then we can just cap it off. We can make something if we want to, but I don't think we're gonna even have to. But that's the plan anyway. We'll cut it there. We'll just make a new lid. All right, so that completes out that section right there. He's pretty much all done, all good. So now we got to get in here. Just kind of move some things around, get that guy all squared up. And when you're dealing with a truck that has parts, 70 years plus in it, you're gonna run into some rot. So having no rot, that's a win. There you go, guys. We basically have this side pretty much wrapped up. We'll come back when the whole body work's done, do the really fine details. But basically, that guy's good to go. We got the other side to do and upwards, and it's going to be a good battle. But you know what? We're making great headway. Can't complain at all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one really soon. Likely on, that side, mounts, all that stuff. Hopefully, wrap it all up. See you guys.